Skyfall, as the incident would come to be known, was more than a PR disaster. It was a seismic event that shook Orion Airlines to its core. What started as a luxury transatlantic flight became a scandal that would ripple across boardrooms, airstrips, and newsrooms worldwide. On board Orion Flight 101 from New York to London, the elite celestial suite was supposed to be a haven. Dr. Cassandra Cassie Dubois, an esteemed heart surgeon, traveled beside her husband, Alexander Sterling, CEO and architect of Orion's rise to aviation royalty. Their bond was quiet but formidable. An hour into the flight, a minor issue with the suite's lighting led to a call for assistance. Captain Finn O'Malley, aging and arrogant, showed up unannounced. Dismissing the flight attendant with a sneer, he turned to Cassie with a smirk. "So, the little lady's afraid of blinking lights?" he said, then muttered under his breath. "Can't have the monkeys scared now, can we?" The air froze to Cassie's stomach churned. Chloe, the young attendant, stood paralyzed. Alex's face hardened. Slowly, he set down his champagne, rose to his full height, and followed O'Malley out. His voice was a blade wrapped in velvet. "Captain O'Malley," he said coldly, "would you care to repeat what you just said?" O'Malley floundered. "Just hang or talk. Joking is all." Alex didn't blink. "You just reduced a brilliant black woman, my wife, to a slur. That's not a joke. That's bigotry." Chloe quietly confirmed what she'd heard. The first-class cabin fell silent. Turning to the passengers, Alex spoke. "I am Alexander Sterling, CEO of Orion Airlines. What you just witnessed is unacceptable. Orion does not tolerate racism from anyone in any role." He turned back. "Captain Finn O'Malley, your employment is terminated. Effective immediately." A gasp followed. O'Malley stammered. "You can't. I own the company. And this plane? First Officer Williams, you are now in command. Upon landing, security will escort Mr. O'Malley off Orion property forever." "Understood," came the response from the cockpit. Back in their suite, Cassie's hand trembled as Alex took it gently. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, holding back a tear. "I am now." The video, recorded discreetly by a passenger, hit the internet like a lightning strike. Within hours, it had millions of views. Hashtags like hashtag fired mid-flight and hashtag OrionCO trended across platforms. Orion's PR confirmed the event and released a powerful statement. "Hate has no place at 30,000 feet or anywhere else." O'Malley, exposed, found his life in shambles. Doxxed, disgraced, disowned by his union, he sank into bitterness. To him, the firing wasn't justice, it was betrayal. In drunken rants, he blamed wokeness, Alex Sterling, and his trophy wife. Meanwhile, in London, Cassie delivered her keynote to standing ovation. But the ordeal lingered in her spirit, an invisible wound. Alex felt it too. "This can't just be about firing one man," he told her. "We need to know if there are more like him hiding in plain sight." True to his word, Alex hired Penelope "Penny" Croft, a former journalist turned corporate investigator. Penny began digging into personnel files, interviews, and internal chatter. What she uncovered disturbed even her seasoned instincts. While Orion's policies looked pristine on paper, the culture among older pilots was toxic. Diversity was viewed as a threat. Cassie wasn't the first to suffer subtle digs, just the first to be publicly targeted. Worse, O'Malley had been active on an anonymous pilot forum laced with hate. Posts traced to his IP were laced with venom. One message chilled Penny. "The silver spoon so needs a lesson. His pet needs humbling. A little turbulence is coming." This wasn't random. It was a setup that in Alex's Manhattan office. Penny laid out her findings. "This wasn't just one man going rogue," she said. "It was a provocation, a coordinated hit." Alex's jaw clenched. "To hurt me or Cassie?" "Both," Penny said. "They wanted a spectacle. They wanted to humiliate you by humiliating her. Publicly." Alex knew where to look next. The old guard executives forced out during his corporate overhaul. Many had left angry, resentful of the new leadership and its inclusive vision. "Dig deeper," Alex instructed. "Give me O'Malley's emails, his messages. I want to know who's pulling the strings." As Penny's team pursued encrypted trails, O'Malley, desperate and drunk, reached out to a sleazy online tabloid. There, he spun a warped version of events, claiming Cassie provoked him, that Alex staged it all, even hinting at a dark secret behind Orion's gleaming brand. The article went live. Sensational headlines screamed across social media. Conspiracy theorists pounced. But beneath the chaos, Alex and Penny were already 2 steps ahead. And what they were about to uncover would prove that Skyfall was only the beginning. It was a desperate attempt to reclaim the narrative, but it backfired. Buried in O'Malley's delusional rant to the press was a line that pierced Pennycroft's radar, a fellow patriot inside Orion who had warned him about Sterling's agenda. A throwaway detail for most. For Penny, a neon sign. Her team had been tirelessly decrypting O'Malley's messages from a secure app on his laptop. At last, they cracked it. Dozens of messages from a single anonymous user, Icarus. This figure had fed O'Malley's ego and paranoia for months, cheering him on, validating his prejudices, and encouraging him to make a stand during the flight. One message was especially damning. They want to replace us with their kind. Real men of the sky need to fight back. Cross-referencing timestamps with location data led Penny to a posh Mayfair cigar lounge. Private, elite, and quiet. O'Malley had been there while receiving multiple encrypted messages. Penny pulled the lounge's member list. One name froze her in place, Julian Thorne. Julian was a powerful relic from Orion's past. An old board member who'd clashed often with Alex over his progressive vision. He'd fought every diversity initiative, once scoffing that Orion was becoming too woke to fly. He wasn't just a critic. He was the architect of resentment within the old guard. Penny had found her puppet master. She presented her findings in a file labeled Icarus. Inside, encrypted transcripts, bank transfers from Julian's shell company to O'Malley's offshore account, and even a statement from the journalist O'Malley had contacted, who flipped under legal pressure. Alex read it all in silence. The betrayal cut deep. He targeted Cassie, he said grimly. To get to me. He underestimated both of you, Penny replied. He didn't think you'd fight back, let alone find him. An emergency board meeting was called. Every member required. Julian arrived smug, expecting a PR debrief, not his unmasking. He didn't see Cassie seated behind Alex until it was too late. Alex stood at the head of the table, flanked by Penny and legal counsel. As you all know, he began, voice measured, we've concluded our investigation into the O'Malley incident. What we found was far more disturbing than we imagined. Julian shifted slightly, the first hint of discomfort. This was not an isolated outburst, Alex continued. It was a coordinated, premeditated attempt to undermine this company and attack my family. A conspiracy orchestrated from within. A gasp rippled through the room. The person responsible operated under the alias Icarus, manipulating O'Malley into provoking a scandal mid-flight. He promised job security, paid him through offshore accounts, and targeted us deliberately. Then Alex turned, his voice sharpening. That person is Julian Thorne. Silence. Then disbelief. Julian went pale as Alex began projecting evidence. The decrypted chats, financial trails, and hateful rhetoric. You betrayed this company, Alex said, circling the table. You try to fracture our future to resurrect a past that no longer exists. You used my wife, a woman of brilliance and integrity, as your weapon. The board was stunned. Some sat with clenched jaws, others in visible disgust. I move for Julian Thorne's immediate removal from this board, for cause, Alex stated. The evidence has been submitted to federal authorities. Charges are forthcoming. Security entered as the board voted unanimously. Julian stood, stunned. Alexander, wait. You don't get to speak now, Alex said coldly. You're not just a relic. You're a criminal. And the area you represent? It ends today. As Julian was escorted out, his eyes met Cassie's. He expected anger. Instead, he saw pity, worse than hate. She remained silent, regal, unshaken. The storm was clearing, but the real battle, the culture shift, was just beginning. Penny watched from the back, knowing the rot went deeper than one man. Cassie reached for Alex's hand. We still have work to do, she said softly. Alex nodded. And this time, we're not just cleaning house, we're rebuilding it. Outside, journalists swarmed. Inside, the foundation of Orion Airlines had shifted forever. And deep in the shadows, another figure opened a burner phone. Watching the headlines roll in, Icarus is down. The message read that a reply came quickly. Then it's time for Phoenix.